What's up YouTube? My name is Caden and you're watching Gas It Garage. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear tire on a Coleman CT-200Uex mini bike. I am also going to be reinstalling the rear fender on this thing, and then we're gonna go take it for a rip and hopefully throw some muddy rooster tails. Enjoy the video. Alright guys, so this is my brother's Coleman CT-200Uex mini bike with a stage 1 Predator 212cc engine with a 30 series torque converter. And as you can see, the rear tire is very worn out and pretty bald on this thing. There is almost no tread left on it. So that's why I'm going to replace it with this nice new Sunf off-road tire right here. This is the same tire that I have on my 420cc dirt drag bike, and this thing works very well in loose dirt and slippery mud because it digs in and grabs so well with all those cleats on it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started by getting this thing on some jack stands, taking the chain off, and I'm gonna show you how to not only take the wheel out of the mini bike, but also get the tire off the rim, clean it up, and put this new tire on. And then I'll show you how to seat the beads and inflate it properly so it doesn't deflate on you. And then after that, I'll show you how to reinstall it. And then I will also remount this fender real quick because it's very loose. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right guys, so I've already taken the chain off of this thing because the master link actually broke when my brother was riding this thing just a little while back. And taking a master link off, if you haven't taken your chain off on your bike, is pretty easy. You just pop the clip off and the master link just comes right apart and you just pull the chain out. So that's pretty self-explanatory. But first thing I'm gonna do here is get this thing up on some jack stands. And then the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna lock a vice grip onto the axle nut on this side right here. And then I have a 11/16 socket right here for the axle bolt. And there is the axle nut. Now before I take this wheel out, we have to disconnect the brake. So to do that, there is a 1/2 inch nut right here that holds the brake drum on and prevents it from spinning. The chain adjusters on this thing for the chain tension have actually been cut off by the previous owner of this bike for some reason. I don't know why, so they're just kind of hanging there. But anyway, for the brake, there would normally be a bolt through this part right here, but it's been taken out or lost or something. I really don't know what happened to it. But you would take that out and then just pry this off with a screwdriver and kind of just work it off like this. Got it. And then you don't want to lose your spring and alignment washer right there. We can now pull the axle out, and you want to make sure you keep all of your spacers organized so you know where they go when you put the bike back together. And then here is the brake drum with the brake shoes, and the brake pads actually still look pretty good in this thing. Next thing we're gonna do is I'm actually going to remove the valve stem out of there with a valve core remover tool that I have. These things usually will come on the end of a tire slime bottle. All right, so here is the little tool that we're gonna use. And you stick it into the valve stem right here and give it a twist. And there it is right there. And the reason we let all the air out of the tire is so we can break the bead without popping the tire. next I'm going to show you how to break a bead on a tire like this. All right, so what we're going to do here is place this board in front of a car tire and place this right under the end of the board. And when you look straight down on this, you want to make sure that the board is just a little bit further this way past the edge of the rim so it doesn't catch the end of the rim and bend it. But you also want it close enough so it will be able to break the bead on the tire. And you also want it centered. So then you just get in your car and slowly drive up on this thing and it will break the bead. And now for the other side, I'm going to lay down these boards because the sprocket sticks out a little bit further past the rim and we don't want to bend the sprocket. All right, so now that the bead is broken, let's go remove this tire from the rim. All right, so I've got my 3 tire spoons right here and we're going to slowly work this tire off of this rim, and since it's going to take a little while, I'll speed it up when I edit this video. And for this, you want to be working on the side that is the shallower part of the rim because that allows the bead to get inside of that shallow part and it allows you to pull the bead off the tire or off the rim. There we go. This rim is immaculate. It's like almost brand new kind of clean. That probably tells me that this is the first time this rear tire has ever been changed on this bike. That makes my job a lot easier. But the point is you want to have a nice, smooth, clean rim to change your tire on. This right here is the new tire that we're working with. And this is going to be way, way better than the original tire. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy on here. And again, I'm going to be working with the shallow part, which is closer to this side. New tires can be a little bit tricky because the rubber is not really broken in yet, and it can be pretty stiff. And I don't have any tire soap, but I don't think I really need any for this. Yeah, this should go on pretty easily. All right, there's one side, let's do the other side. This side can be a little tricky. Kind of have to use your knees to get it started, just because it's so tight. There we go. Once you get about to the halfway point, it gets a little bit easier. There it goes. Yeah, these new tires are kind of tricky to get to seat on these rims. All right, so the next thing to do is also kind of difficult. We got to get the bead to seat. First, we have to reinstall the valve core so this thing will actually hold air. So, got the little valve core right here. Drop it in, then use the tool. All right, so I've got the air hose right here. And a trick I like to use when trying to get the tire or the bead of the tire all the way close to the actual bead seating area on the rim is you'll notice in some places it's kind of pulling away from it. So basically just take the tire and do this. What that does is it kind of sends a little bit of a pulse of air on the inside of the tire that helps push those beads out towards the edges of the rim. And then you gotta start inflating. Once this starts to inflate, I'll start the video again. All right, I finally got it to pressurize, so let's go ahead and inflate this thing and listen to those beads pop. There's one. It's always a little sketchy doing this. there's the second one. I can probably let a little bit of air out of this thing because it is pretty highly inflated. All right, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and start putting this thing back together. All right, the rear tire is on and looking good, and the chain is nice and tight, probably a little bit too tight. I can loosen that though. And then I got the brakes readjusted off camera. So the last step before we can ride this thing is that fender right there needs to go onto the bike. So let me just bolt that on real quick, and then we can take this thing for a rip. All right, guys, now that the fender's on, we can finally go take this thing for a rip. My brother is going to be riding it because unfortunately I really can't right now because I'm still recovering from a pretty severe leg injury. Go check out that video in the description. Long story short, I broke my leg and I'm still recovering. But anyway, let's go take this thing for a rip. All right, so I'm going to have him drive off and go down into the woods over there and go down to the shore of the lake because the lake is kind of low right now, and there's some nice muddy sandy beach to ride on. So oh yeah, we're gonna go get this thing muddy and hopefully throw some rooster tails too. So all right, so go ahead and start it up and drive off, and I'll meet you down there. Oh yeah, that tire digs in nicely. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
I can feel the bumps in the tire.
Nice. Digging trenches. Oh, something happened. Wonder if he blew a belt.
I broke it.
Yeah, you locked something up.
Oh, it's smoking.
Yeah, you probably locked up the belt.
It's literally
It
smoking.
sounded like you had some belt slip here. All right,
I wonder why.
let me take this cover off and take a look. All right, I just took out the 2 bolts. Let's see what's under here. Oh yeah,
I cooked the belt.
that is 100% cooked. Good Lord. Yeah, this belt is 100% cooked. So thankfully we do have a second one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it swapped over, and this one should grab a lot better. So we should be able to get a nice hard launch out of this thing. All right, so I got the new belt on, and it's obviously way better than the old one because that one is in a lot of pieces. So let's go ahead and get the cover back on and keep ripping this thing around. How do you manage to run into the tree? You get a little squirrely in that mud, you gotta be careful. Oh! Is there any damage? Okay, I may need to tighten up the zip tie. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Ow! Well, this is comfy.
Hilarious way to end the video.
Oh, it's so cold. Oh.
All right, guys. I'll see you next time.